round of the F1 Academy Series in 2024. Abby Pulling has a 95-point advantage in the championship. It's all up to her to wrap it up this weekend before we go to Abu Dhabi. It's time to cross over and get ready for the first practice session. Set then for the first practice session of two here in the desert of Qatar. Welcome to the Losail International Circuit. Built for MotoGP in the early 2000s, it was the deal. MotoGP got Qatar, Formula 1 got Bahrain. Now Formula 1 have come and nicked the circuit, rejuvenated for four-wheel drive racing. This is now a fast-flowing, aggressive racetrack, and one we absolutely love. Every time we've come here, we've had exciting racing as well. 2023 provided us with the first familiarization session since 1996, where it rained in Monaco an hour before the Grand Prix, putting up all sorts of problems. The green light is on here for the first practice session for F1 Academy, and the 38 minutes timer is ticking down, 38:17 remaining on our side, but no cars venturing out onto the circuit just yet because they do have two sessions to play with, and also the cars haven't been used since Singapore. Jess Ball's going to be back with us later on as well, ahead of practice 2 and qualifying. I'm Joshua Birch, filling in alongside me. A new addition to the JBMotorsports team this weekend. It's Wes. You might know him for loading the BBC Radio 5 live coverage to YouTube as well. And may I say thank you very much for that, because it has been a massive, massive help this year as well. Welcome, Wes, and how are you doing, and what are you thinking about this weekend for F1 Academy?
Thank you for having me on, Josh. Yeah, I really appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the drivers will be able to do. Of course, the championship is all but wrapped up already. Abby Pulling's got a colossal 95-point lead at the top, as you said. Yeah, below her, there's still quite a few positions still to be fought over, so yeah, we'll have a look and see what happens.
So much to play for in this one. Just a reminder, in Singapore, Abby Pulling was once again brilliant, but so was Dorian Pan getting back up there as well. She's not in title contention that much, and unfortunately for Dorian as well, she's had numerous setbacks in the break between Singapore and now as well. She's announced that she's going to be driving in only some of the races for the Iron Dames next season across European Le Mans and in World Endurance Championship itself as well. So at least she'll get to step up to the main gear. As we see the 88 down there of Amana Al-Kabasi just watching, getting ready to set out there. She's in the V-Carb entry. And then we have the normal Red Bull entry. And then we have the Red Bull Ford entry as well. 3. You might be wondering why. It's because Ford registered that one as a manufacturer to come into this series. They all have the same car, same spec, will get changed up as well. There we see Lola Love and Fossey is waiting to head out there on the circuit, revving up the engine at the back. Bit blistery here. Track temperature is at 36.9, air temperature 22.5. Wind speed, however, 5.7 miles per hour. So similar to what we saw last weekend in Las Vegas for wind speed, but definitely the temperatures are up, and it's not going to be a problem for the F1 Academy girls, but for the F1 boys, they've gone from extreme colds of the nights desert to extreme heat as well. That's going to play with them a little bit, especially traveling 3 weeks, all different conditions. You get ill, don't you? You get sick quite a lot.
Yeah, you do, and it's not just that, but also the time difference. There's an 11-hour difference between here in Qatar and where the drivers just came from in Las Vegas. I can only imagine what that would be like.
My headset's going a bit funny at the moment as well, so that's always a good sign. There we go, to come through. Now, Alicia Palmoski as well is the Prima wildcard entry for this weekend as well coming in, so that's going to be fun to hear what she has to say later. Unfortunately, our connection to the circuit track isn't great at the moment due to these bus mixers not wanting to heat up as of yet. You might notice that that's why we've got it on quiet, because we can still hear the commentators in the background. Adam's watching on saying, Josh, breaking news from the FIA Formula E, new free-to-air contract in the UK, 9 races to air on ITV4, all races streaming on ITVX. Well, that is new to me. I'll have to take a look at that on the media pass that we've got now for Formula E. Where is it? Here it is, press releases. So that's going to be alongside TNT Sports, I would understand. Because TNT do have it next weekend. But 9 out of the 16 races, that's brilliant news. And all on ITVX. That's the great news as well.
Yeah, great. Great to have it back on free-to-air TV. I know it's gone through at least every free-to-air channel at least once already, so it's doing the rounds again by the sounds of it.
Yeah, back to where it all began, of course. ITV4 held it. Yes, all 16 Prix and qualifying sessions will be shown live and free-to-air across ITVX, and 9 races live on ITV4. Nikki Shields will anchor the coverage with punditry from Channel, Minish, Lotto and Mullings, Rossiter and others. So, we already know that Jermaine Janus has gone, but that is fantastic news that Nikki Shields has logically been put back into the position that she had originally of host. So, good news. And that's Nikki commentating now as well. And she will not be, Nikki won't be covering the last race of the season in F1 Academy. That will be taken by Laura Winter because Nikki obviously will be in Sao Paulo.
Yeah, I always felt like Nikki wasn't quite ever a natural fit in the commentary box. She didn't do bad, bless her, but yeah, I think Laura will probably do a little better.
I agree. She was fantastic in Singapore as well, and Nikki is definitely more the lead presenter role type, and I'm glad to see finally she's got that role. Only one time set then from Nobles in the 22 car, 42.1 in the second sector. She's done an outlap, has not done anything else. She's come straight back in. So at the moment we have no real track data. Usually the first 10 minutes is used for exploratory laps, and then after that 10 minutes we start going forward with the actual session. You'll see that when we get to Formula 2 practice later on. 2 practice sessions for F1 Academy this weekend. That is because the cars haven't run in a while, so they need to get back up to temperature, make sure everything's okay, and get a run cycle through them. So we're expecting more this afternoon. The races take part at different times of the day as well, so they're going to have to be fighting those conditions quite a lot with the weather and the sun as they come through. You can see it's just 1:05 over there in Qatar. It's or 8 minutes past 1. It's 8 minutes past 10 here in our UK commentary box. Lola Love and Fossey coming out onto the circuit alongside Jess Edgar out onto turn 1. Yeah, well, hopefully when Jess gets here later, you'll see Jess takes this series more. I sort of just slip to the background for F1 Academy. But happy to step in. Of course, on Fridays, Jess works in the mornings, and she'll be with us this afternoon. Omi's back with us for the Formula 2 weekend. He'll be with us from qualifying onwards. And numerous other guests will be joining us back in the comms box this weekend. Interesting news, I've just got through my email about this press release as well, is that we already guessed Tom Brooks not commentating on the first weekend in Sao Paulo. Yeah, here we go.
Say who's taken over for him?
I do. Let's have a quick word.
It's really exciting, but I'm not getting too ahead of myself. I don't want to put unnecessary pressures on myself. I think that's really important. It's a similar approach to every weekend I'm taking, to be honest. It's great that I'm, close to taking the title, but I think it will be quite easy to overthink it. So I'm just doing the same process I've done all season. It seems to have worked. Hopefully it will work again this weekend.
Okay, well, I've got the breaking news for you if you want to hear it. Nikki Shields will be joining... right, well, first of all, let's get... because this press release has come through. Acclaimed sports broadcaster Nicky Shields will front Formula E coverage as lead presenter, joined by racing driver Billy Monger, rally driver Katie Munnings, and a host of experts, including racing legends David Coulthard and Karun Chanok, who will all return for season 11. Formula E coverage will be free to air, debuting on ITV4 and ITVX when the season kicks off on Saturday, the 7th of December in Sao Paulo, with fans in the UK and Ireland also able to tune in via TNT Sports. So it looks like, TNT have very much pushed it to the back. There's Alice Powell, who doesn't know what's happened there because it looks like Abby left the pit lane and it just seized up.
Oh no. Yeah, it looks like she's having car trouble of some kind. I have no idea what that could be. It's Murphy's Law that it would happen on this weekend of all weekends as well. Oh dear, poor Abby.
And hopefully they'll get that engine cover off the coke, and they'll see what can we do. Kai Schreiner's out there on the circuit now for Sauber, just getting some lap times under the belt. So quickly, this is the full lineup. Nicky Shields will be joined by racing driver Billy Monger, who recently broke the Ironman record for a double amputee at the World Championships in Kona, Hawaii. Rally driver Katie Munnings, who both made their debut presenting appearance in season 10, and sports commentator Tom Brooks will also make a return for season 11. Former F1 veteran David Coulthard will make guest appearances throughout the season alongside ex-Formula E drivers Karun Chanok and Andre Lotterer, former racing driver James Rossiter and former Formula E team boss Alan McNish to anchor the coverage on TNT Sports, ITV4, ITVX and all English language Formula E programming around the world. Pit lane reporters Saunders, Carmichael Brown and Alexa Rendell also make a return, delivering exclusive behind-the-scenes context and interviews. So we've lost, by the look of it, Dario Franchitti and Radzi. And I don't like that because I like Radzi.
Oh, that makes Nicky the last of the OG lineup.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
At least they've given her the main series. Yeah, Nicky's hosting everything now. So that is great news. And there's another one about ITV. 9E Prix. The 9E Prix, that will be live on free-to-air ITV4. Season opener in Sao Paulo. Miami, race 2 in Shanghai. Both Jeddah, Monaco and Tokyo double headers all shown live. Interesting not the London races, which I thought would be. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit worrying.
No, it is actually. So I knew we got the FIA press from Formula E yesterday, and we are now an FIA accredited championship, by the way, broadcaster. We've got Formula E, we've got the accreditation from FIA and Formula E, so we've got so much more content to Formula E this year to show you, including press conferences. So expect a couple more build-ups around the shows. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. And yeah, it's good. Just good news that Formula E is sort of taking it seriously. The same reason that F1 Academy is taking it seriously with having their races free to wear, developing championships. They need to be out there to show people what they're all about.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not much point in going racing if people can't see it, is there? So we've got to have our eyeballs on the cars as much as possible. That's how the sponsors get seen. It's how the word gets out, because word of mouth is so important. So yeah.
Absolutely. As Abby Pulling's car looks like it has refired. They're just checking. Yeah, it looks like it's rear suspension area. So
something going on there, isn't there?
yeah, that's towards the gearbox side of the car. Gearbox is always located right at the back of the chassis. So I wonder if that's like skip gears or something. Sounded like it was choking.
Yeah, I think if she was having trouble pulling off, it's probably not being able to select first, or maybe the pit lane speed limiter is stuck on. Could be any number of things.
Just and also reminder about that turn 14, because we've just gone through it. They have redone the curb here at Qatar. It was done for the MotoGP race earlier in the season, the opener for MotoGP in 2024. So the curb is now safe, and Qatar was supposed to host one of the emergency races for MotoGP, but Dorna wanted them to pay $1 million and Qatar said no because they've got Formula 1. So it's good news actually, because there was a real chance that we would have the championship for MotoGP wrapped up next weekend in a direct clash with Formula 1 again. So luckily that didn't happen.
They're still skint after hosting the World Cup, probably.
They probably are. They did not make a lot back on that, did they? To come through to it.
No, they did not.
I love how they announced this Formula E stuff literally a week before. So that's not the best thing, but yeah. If anything, it makes my life easier.
It's not great. Yeah, we don't have to scramble last minute to get things ready.
I was a bit worried actually, because I got told a couple of weeks ago that there'd be some presence of free-to-air again for Formula E, and that usually kills our ratings when that happens. But we've got so much more.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Well, but the great thing is we've got more of an FIA championship now, so we get the press conferences and all that lot, and things that nobody would usually see, and we get people trackside as well, so we get a different angle of it all to come through. So Noble's on a lap. First sector was a 44.1, second sector 38.6. Jess Edgar also 38.6 in that middle sector, but no one improving massively. Nobles is a 1:59.291 in that opening lap she's done. Track temperature still at 30.
Nobles has had a very up and down year, hasn't she? He scored a couple of points at the first race in Jeddah, and then was largely obscure at the back of the field for much of the season, and then seemingly came alive again in the Netherlands, where she had a great couple of results, but seemingly fallen back into her old ways recently, but hopefully on her way back again.
Amanda Al-Kabasi now. Just a little snap and off track at turn 14 as well, so it's so hard to that section of the circuit with the crosswind to keep it on. They put the gravel there at the exit of 14 now as well for the Formula cars. If they go over, they get punished, but yeah, just a little snap, easily done. We have got the calendar that I'm just trying to find, but we took so many photos in Las Vegas. Here it is. We have the new calendar for F1 Academy for next year as well. No European races, which I find very entertaining indeed.
One European race.
Oh, is it one? Where are we? Oh,
one.
Yeah,
They've got Zandvoort.
Yeah.
They've got Zandvoort.
So we start, weirdly enough, we start in China on the 21st, 23rd of March. Then a big gap of a month before we go to a double race for F1 Academy. We go to Saudi Arabia as well on the 18th to the 20th of April. 2nd to the 4th of May, we go to Miami. Then another big gap before, for the first time, we get a F1 Academy race in Montreal, in Canada. The first time any F1 Support Championship have gone to Montreal. And that's going to be on the 13th to the 15th of June as well. Slightly not looking forward to that because that's Le Mans, so I won't be doing that one. I'll be finishing that before getting some little bit of rest before having to go and cover the Grand Prix. Then we go, another big gap actually, all the way to the end of August, where we go, 29th to the 31st of August, for the Netherlands race, the only European round of the championship. Singapore returns, 3rd to the 5th of October. And then the final is now going to be in Las Vegas, the 20th to the 22nd of November, on the streets. 2 bouts of the cherry to America for F1 Academy. Only 1 European championship.
3.
Oh, 3, all 3, yeah. I don't know, how do you feel about that?
North America.
North America. How do you feel about that? Yeah. In terms of, there's only 1 European race in a championship which has very much European drivers who only know those circuits. They're going to be literally thrown completely into the deep end.
To me, it feels like it was a decision made purely with advertising in mind. That seems to be what this championship is largely about, and any progress made with female drivers is largely incidental, honestly, which may be a bit cynical on my part, but it's how I felt initially when seeing that calendar. Because if you look at all the tracks, it's maybe with the exception of Zandvoort, it's all big markets North America, obviously, China to start off with, Middle East. I'm very interested to see how the cars are going to do in Las Vegas, a track that's mostly straights. These cars are very, very, very small engines. They're going to be on the rev limiter for the majority of the time, I expect. So, yeah, maybe we'll see an engine or two exploding there. Who knows?
Bump drafting would be fantastic in a Formula Academy car. We've got that now, actually, as Marti and Bustamante come across the line. Bianca in the McLaren right behind her. And, yeah, they've got to take a little bit of care down to turn 1, as we see the Ferrari now as well on the circuit. Maya Vuk watching on. Now, just quick with Edgar, she's done a 1:57.592. Bianca's time, 1:58.302, but that's been separated as Lola Love and Fossey's gone second. Abby Pulling's issues with the gearbox seems to have been sorted. She lets first gear and drives out the pit lane now. So finally she can get some practice underway. Lucky that she's got 2 sessions, otherwise that's 20 minutes she's lost.
Yeah, let's have a quick listen to the engine. Yeah, seems like it's all been fixed. I mean that the engine doesn't sound too great even on these cars, even when it is working. So, but yeah, seemingly all fixed and ready to go for Abby Pulling there. And she hasn't lost too much time. What, she lost about 20 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, 20 minutes into, well, 22
Yeah.
by the time she gets on her lap time, yeah. So she's going to have to be very quick with this, as we're on board now with Hamanda Al-Kabasi in the Red Bull over the line. And her lap time, is it faster than Jess Edgar's? It's not. It's a 1:57.775. It's a 10th down on the overall best. Jess Edgar, actually, is up by nearly half a second in that middle sector. We're following her now in the American Express car. Cousin, of course, to Johnny Edgar. Jess has been making a name for herself across all sorts of series here in the UK and in F1 Academy. And the Edgar name very much is sort of renowned around the touring car paddock as well as they exit. Lots of weaving on that start line, as noticed there, Wes.
Yeah, there was a little bit of weaving actually. Jess goes to the top, now 6/10 faster than the previous time. Jess really made a name for herself at the back end of last year with that amazing performance in Austin, Texas. She wasn't really able to carry that form over into this year. She's at the top of the B list of drivers, as I like to call it. As a bit of, if you look at the championship, there's quite a large gap between the top echelons and the second half, if you like. On board now with Bianca Bustamante, who's a little under 0.2 of a second slower than Edgar's time.
Very much the...
And now through the back.
She's a lively one, Bianca Bustamante, isn't she? You never know what she's going to do next. She's just recently announced she's joining Lando Norris's Quadrant channel as well, so she'll be a regular member on that side of things. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to go down with many viewers, but still, she's quite funny. Andrea Kimiat today is happy that she's nowhere near him. I don't think he's got his phone back yet.
Oh, I'm sure she'll be popular enough with those guys. She's got a huge social media following, Bianca Bustamante. So we have she could rival, I think, Sophia Flourish on the social media front.
And less opinionated than Sophia Flourish as well. Coming into that one. Over the line. And only fourth, 157.883. As Leah Block done a 158.045. Marty's up to third, 157.8 on her time. Noble's now on her time. They're getting faster and faster, but also they'll only have one set of tyres for this session. So they're not going to have multiple sets across this one. They have to carry it. Go on.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say they obviously are quite limited in the number of tires they can use throughout the weekend. The tires they use, of course, are much harder compound than you'd see in, for instance, Formula One, so they can push them harder. They take longer to warm up as well, so they have to do multiple out laps in order to go for a quick lap. We've got Hamda Al-Qubaisi now on a fast lap, a little under 0.3 of a second inside Jess Edgar's time. She should be heading to the top if she can keep this up. Also on the right-hand side of the screen, you see Alicia Parmovsky is about to set her first representative time as well. I've been following Alicia in the GB4 Championship. For those of you who don't know, GB4 is it's an un-FIA accredited F4 level championship, as Al-Qubaisi loses time behind the car of who's that, Chloe Chambers. So that cost her a chance to go to the top. But going back to what I was saying, Alicia Parmovsky managed to get second place in the GB4 Championship, and here she is now on screen, just a 1/10 of a second down on Edgar's time. She took part in the test they had here a couple of weeks ago, and in the very first session, the morning session, put it on top of everybody else, which I thought was extremely impressive, and I'm really looking forward to seeing her next year. She's not officially signed up or anything just yet, but it's almost certain she will be at some point as she goes up into second place.
Fantastic.
But yeah, in her GB4 season, she got 3 wins, and I wrote it down here somewhere. 3 wins, 8 podiums. In my opinion, her most impressive race that season was race 2 at Donington, as we see Aurelia Nobel's going wide there. Race 2 at Donington, she had contact with another car in, I think it was lap 2, drove about 3/4 of the race, crabbing because the rear suspension was broken, still managed to finish in the top 10. I mean, it was unbelievable. Really, really impressive drive. She forgive the expression, manhandled the car through the majority of that race, and it was brilliant. Loved it.
I love that championship as well. There's always something going on. I know Omi always keeps me up to top with what's happening there in the junior series outside of the F3s. But yeah, now third fastest time actually on a 1:57.197. Dorian Pan's gone fastest on a 1:56.654. Interesting enough, even though she wasn't racing in Las Vegas, Dorian was still out there in America with Formula One. She made a brief stop off in New York, where she was interviewed on a chat show, very famous one with Jimmy Kimmel, of course. So she made a little interview there, and I don't know, there was something about it that it felt like when Murray Walker was on Letterman. The Americans are a bit more, they do get Formula One now, but do they get F1 Academy? That's the question. But I don't know, it felt a little bit at times like, what? Why? Yeah, but it was a good interview. I was
a bit confused that they. Yeah, I was a bit confused that they were promoting F1 Academy so much, considering there wasn't actually a race there that weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed that interview. It was, I think Kemmel he at least did a little bit of research before having her on, so that was nice. And so, some of Dorian's answers were just so beautifully French.
I know.
I loved it.
Off at turn 14, unfortunately, did go Parmovsky as well, just getting a snap of oversteer, and Tina Houseman in the Aston Martin the same. This is what happens when you get low drag, nimble, quick cars with small, skinny tyres. They're going to slip off everywhere. And Abby Pulling's on the circuit now.
Yeah.
Nearly got run over by Abby
Yeah,
Pulling,
that's
actually.
right. Sorry, what was that?
I said I nearly got run over by Abby Pulling, actually, as well. This was at Brands Hatch.
Oh.
Yeah, I was already having a bad weekend, but on the Saturday, after their race got, I think, there was a red flag at one point, so everything was running out of schedule. So we were in, because Brands actually got 3 paddocks, so we were in the support paddock where 4 were, and the Porsches. And I was just making my way over because I was going to have a word with Alice Powell. Never managed to get near, however. But Abby Pulling came out of Parc Ferme technical checks and nearly ran me over. So that was fun. And then I turned around.
That sounds like an improvement to your day.
Yeah, it did improve a little bit. Yeah. The Sunday was worse though with the abscess and everything. And it rained a lot.
Was that the weekend she won?
No, that
was that the weekend she won the.
No, that was the last one, the Grand Prix circuit. So the last race of the championship. Yeah.
Okay.
She won at Indy, of course, on that smaller course.
That's right.
But yeah, I just still don't know how I managed to not see a car. Well, it wasn't. They're very quiet, the Formula 4s. they're not that loud. And I had ear defenders in as well.
Yeah,
so.
surprisingly.
Yeah, these little things in my ears. So I couldn't really. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Abby Pulling.
On board with Pulling now. And a personal best in Sector 1.
Snap slightly.
Yeah, still trying to feel her way around the car, I think. Maybe not quite over the car issue she had earlier. 1.2 seconds down. I expect this is probably more of a feeler lap rather than a hell for leather one. We might get that a little bit later on.
Looks like they're going to wait to see, aren't they, as well? Paul says, hello Josh and the gang, hope you are all well and happy. Sorry for spelling, yeah, because I was going to say OPE, O-P-E, hope. OPE, very much Yorkshire twang there, but yeah, hello everyone, yeah, all doing good. Abby's time across the board. Yeah, was not a push lap. 1.7 seconds down. It's 1:58.409. So definitely just going to be building up ever so slightly as we take a replay. This was on turn 1. Maybe this is what caused it. If she had a snap. Gravel. Yeah.
Just running a little bit wide. Yeah, I don't think that would have cost her too much time. Definitely, I wouldn't say 1.2 seconds anyway. Maybe a half a tenth, perhaps.
I'm worried actually they're going to have to sweep the circuit before Formula 2. Oh, snap there down to turn 11. I'm worried they're going to have to sweep the circuit before Formula 2 because there's loads of gravel that's sort of been deposited on the exterior corners that wouldn't work.
Well, do you know, I noticed that on Aurelia Nobel's first lap. I think that may be a holdover from the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East, which is also running here this weekend. Sadly, no stream for that. Annoyingly, but
yeah.
I think that's maybe not cleaned up from there.
So they're going to have to, yeah. Well, we get a lunch break before Formula 1 in the schedule, so they've got enough time to sweep it. Abby's again off wide, and that's the problem with these smaller cars as well. You get on the curb, and they do sort of just hold you on with the biting zone. So she was riding the curb there, unfortunately. At the exit,
yeah. Improvement here in Sector 2. She's only 6/10 down on Dorian Paz's time.
Flicks the car in.
Getting out of the way there.
She's using the old Dog Hudson trick as well, which is the counter steer. She's turning in, but she's having to correct the slide. So even though in this instance you're turning right, you're going left, just to counter the back and get it in. It's fantastically done. No power steering, of course, in these cars. 1:57.
I thought that was the Lightning McQueen technique.
Doc Hudson got there first.
I know.
I love that. That was fantastic. Just ask Liam Lawson. It's his favourite film. I love how you've got Lewis Hamilton who comes in and says, "Who's your racing hero?" Ayrton Senna, Liam Lawson, Lightning McQueen. It's just like, whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he said that just to screw with the guy, honestly.
Yeah.
That's so Liam.
I love Liam Lawson so much, of course. Well, actually, he was born the 11th of February 2002. So, yeah, She's 22 years old.
Oh, that makes me feel old.
Makes me, to be fair. Yeah. To be fair, I'm just dreading the day. Have we had a driver born in... Yeah, Oscar Piastri, born the 6th of April, 2001, Grand Prix winner. That hurts. There we go, sir.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I can remember what I was doing that year. It was watching Formula 1.
Same here. Murray's last year, of course, in Coventry.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, I miss Murray. Rest in peace.
I must admit...
We see Jess Edgar running wide there.
Yeah, everyone's throwing it off the circuit, aren't they? They're throwing it in. So hopefully the Formula 1 cars can keep it on with the downforce they've got. There's the tyre degradation that we've seen. The front left there getting a little line on the inside line with the graining. And the same for the rear right of Emily D. House as well. And she's sliding using the...
Yeah, that's something I can keep an eye on.
Do you know, I always feel that I can...
Sorry, I didn't...
So I can drive these lower power cars easier than the Formula 1 cars as well. You get so much more grip on. You get more fun out of these type of cars. That's one thing I think everybody forgets. In Formula 1, you are so nailed into doing the banzai lap, you don't enjoy it. Whereas with these cars, you really do enjoy throwing them around and getting them into corners. You leave with a smile on your face. It's not about the power, it's about the fun you have along the way.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They're basically more powerful go-karts in a way. These F4 level cars, as we are going to have a listen to the block.
I would say coming off of Singapore, you know, top 4 each time, so I would like to keep it there and hopefully improve on it.
Very quick there from Liam Block. I was barely able to get... I was going to check socials to see if there's anything coming in, but couldn't get that open in time. 3 minutes to go on the board. I hate when they go side by side like that. They could just put her in a little picture below the Sky F1 logo there. Because in that instance, if it's a long interview, then use picture in picture. If it's a short interview, don't bother going the whole drag out picture side. It frustrates me from a technical broadcast mind. Oh.
Yeah, it is a little bit annoying. I expect they only have the one graphic, so...
Yeah.
They save the really expensive technical stuff for F1.
Look, for years I've always been annoyed with FOM, the fact that we have a race going on and they spend about 2-3 minutes showing the highlights of the opening lap on lap 3. And it always annoyed me. And now finally they've realised, let's use picture in picture. So I'm enjoying that a lot. Like, we can still keep an eye on what's happening on the circuit. But yeah, one of these days.
Oh yeah, big improvement.
Replays are the modern ad breaks from ITV's day. That's the thing. Replays are the modern ad breaks. We'll miss something important.
That's true. Yeah, it's not as bad, I don't think, but it's I get what you mean.
Dorners is the worst. Noble's in the pits.
On board with Bianca Bustamante now. I think she was, last I saw, was inside Dorian Powell's time. So as she heads onto the start-finish straight now, we're going to have a quick look, see what she can do. She goes into 4th place on a 57.1.
Mighty good time then for Bianca in the McLaren. There's Maya Vuk now in the Ferrari, 7/10 down at the moment. Harry Shrine in the Sauber, 5/10 of a second down. And 3 other drivers now in the pit lane in total. Marty and Alicia's in there too. A bit of a slide coming out. I hope Lizzie's Whitmore's going to be joining us at some point this weekend as well across the series. As the new pit lane entry here gets used.
Harry Schreiner now coming across the line. Currently 11th. Where does this take her to? She goes up a place. This place is Chloe Chambers. Gets to be 10th.
So it looks like we're going to have the practice starts come into effect shortly with the timer ticking down. No one's on an absolute push lap. Dorian Pan, however, 43-4 first sector, but has now come in to the pit lane as well. Maya Vuk there in for the Ferrari in front of the Williams garage with Franco Colapinto. So, looks like time over. Pulling has improved to second place, 156.
Second.
Yeah, 9:44. So that was a bigger improvement, but she's not had as much practice time. So we definitely know there, Wes, that she's got more to give.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we could tell that anyway, isn't it? It's Abby Pulling. She's had a phenomenal season this year. Real big improvement on her last few years of racing, not just last year in F1 Academy, but from British F4 as well. She's really dominated, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can do in GB3 next year.
Yeah, because it looks like
We're on board with him now.
Was it 25, 50, 75? There's 100 points left, but she's 95 points ahead of everybody else. So she will be champion this weekend. So there's no way.
Yeah, if not race 1, then definitely race 2.
Yeah. So she will be in GB3 next year. I think she's also going to stay in the Formula 4 for British Formula 4 as well in that championship with Alpine sponsorship. It's the best place to be with it, TV-wise, of course, with ITV.
They do get a high amount of viewers there. Pulling on another quick lap as well. She's not content with second.
She
wants to show the paddock what she can do.
She's got that gold leaf helmet as well, easily reflecting in the setting sun here in Qatar. If you're not familiar with Qatar, haven't seen it before, you're in for a treat when the sun sets and the moon comes out. Big, huge moon that we always get to see here. Abby's across the line, and lost out due to cars in front of her. And that was the 8th.
Hamza Al-Khawaiti.
Yeah. Yellow flag's out, not for anyone off the track. This is now for the practice start to come into effect, if you're wondering. So they'll lift off. So, Dorian Pan, top of the board, 156.654 in the Mercedes. And the woman who started this season with a domination in Jeddah got race 2 taken away from her for not seeing the checkered flag, and Amanda getting called out in turn 14 again.
Yeah, Hamda there running afoul of track limits. That's the new system in place to give the stewards a little bit of a break. And are we going to see Abby doing the same here? She's really fighting the oversteer. Yeah, she runs wide as well. So I expect we'll see that a few more times before the end of the weekend, not just by F1 Academy cars, but by all of them.
Yeah, the gravel here, similar to what we have in Austria, to stop the drivers going over and having track limits. So that's going to be another thing this weekend. They've been put at, I think, turn 14, turn 12, 6, and exit of... hang on a minute. Exit of 16 and into 15 as well. So they've been put out around the outside, those little strips, to keep it through. The notes on the other side of the commentary box I have to look over. How bad's my filing? I've still got last year's Qatar track map at hand, and the new one's up on the wall already. So yeah, that's how bad my filing is.
So I don't think the track's changed too much since then.
Luckily not. It did get modified in 2007 actually as well, from what it originally was in 2004. A couple of corners got...
Yeah, I noticed when WEC came here at the beginning of this year, I saw from some of the helicopter shots that they've added a shorter version of the circuit that goes inside.
Yeah, so I always think the circuit was like sort of a half misshapen star. So it's a great circuit. Here's you.
I always thought it was a handprint.
Oh yeah, it's turkey. It's a hand turkey. Oh, I didn't think of that. Well,
Yeah.
Here's your results set. Dorian Pan's top, 156.654. Abby Pulling is second with Maya Vuk in third. Jess Edgar's fourth. Bianca Bustamante's fifth. Amanda Alkabasi in 6th. Alicia Pomorsky as well, she's in 7th as well. Carrie Shiner 8th. Leah Block 9th and Chloe Chambers 10th. The 2 Americans rounding out the top 10. Nia Martins 11th. Maria Nobles in 12th. Tina Houseman's 13th. Emily DeHouse 14th. Lola Love and Fosse's 15th. And Amanda Alkabasi in 16th as well. The Alkabasis Gulfs having their home race next time out in Abu Dhabi. Where's final thoughts from you then ahead of practice 2 later on? What do you think of practice 1?
Yeah, it was an interesting race. It was interesting to see a handicap for this session, which I'm sure won't last too long. But yeah, between her and Dorian Pat at the top would make the weekend very interesting indeed.
And practice 2 will get underway after Formula 1's practice session. This is the only series this weekend which gets 2 practices, with it being an F1 sprint. Next up here, it's Formula 2's 45-minute practice. Academy will be back later on. Thanks, Wes. Thanks to you all. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.